Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Sunday Community Skirmish number 43. I'm Fourth Oracle, joined by Urz, and this is the finals of the loser bracket between ClanClan and Catskyders, red side and blue side, respectively, on Canyon Ambush. Let's take a look at the loadouts. First off, for the ClanClan, we have the Abyss. Once again, a junker being piloted by Nietzsche's Mustache. Port side, Carronade and Mine Launcher. Artemis on the front, and Hades Artemis on the starboard for a trifecta. Goodness gracious. They're also bringing the Jethro, another junker, being piloted by Zerilfer. There we go. Port side, Carronade and Flamethrower, with front Gatling and Banshee Mine Launcher on the starboard. This is a messy-looking junker. Urz, take us through the Catskyders ships.
On the battering ram, we have a heavy Carronade Goldfish with the left side light Carronade, right side Banshee, piloted by Finks, their ally, the Sky Slicer, a Gat Artemis Pyramidian with the left side Artemis and Flare Gun, piloted by Komoba.
Yeah, we saw these two ships. Well, we saw these two ships last match. Sky Slicer. We've been seeing Gatling and Artemis a little bit more recently. It's scary in its own way. The disable coupled with the, they trade killing power for disable power, and it's kind of scary.
Yeah, it seems like they're choosing it, it's kind of matchup dependent, because we saw last game, actually, weren't they going for the Gat Mortar? And then the game before it was Gat Artemis. But opting for the Artemis here, I believe, because these junkers have all their components clustered very close together, that makes the Artemis very effective, particularly with burst ammo.
Jethro, keeping the battering ram at arm's length with that Gatling. What are they running with that? They only have greased for that Gatling. So just scaring them off a little bit. In the meantime, the Abyss coming into arc as well, forcing the battering ram even farther back, but it's leaving them open to the Artemis and the Sky Slicer, and that Artie is doing a lot of work.
Yeah, and I mean, in a long-range engagement, if the blue team decides to stay at this range, Abyss will probably win, because it has 3 long-range weapons versus the 1 Artemis of the Sky Slicer. So the battering ram, they're going to have to come in, they're going to have to provide some amount of disruption.
Jethro coming in on the battering ram. Flamethrower going out as well. Chem spray, not entirely necessary. Not too many fires coming out. Jethro at its very maximum range. They're able to back up, but the battering ram keeps being forced farther and farther back. It's in the clouds. It may back all the way up to the mountain if it keeps getting forced back, but the Sky Slicer is here. It's in position, and the battering ram is trying to slip through these Cheetos, but the Abyss is laying down some serious Hades fire after they bump.
Yeah, the Jethro looks like he has to escape. He's not on his mine launcher side facing the Sky Slicer, so he's electing instead to pull forward, and they're going to dual focus the battering ram with their long-range ally.
Yeah, the Sky Slicer is not a part of this fight hardly at all. It needs to get arcs, and it needs to get them quickly. The battering ram has opened up its big, vulnerable port side to the Abyss, and the Jethro is continuing to lay in Gatling. These two junkers are being given the best possible situation. They hit a mine. And that's that. Sky Slicer took way too long to come in, and now it's a 2v1. This Pyrrha has got to get out of here. Nah, yeah, maybe not. They're doing a good job against the Jethro.
Yeah, all the guns are disabled on the Jethro. They've got 1 engine. They managed to take the whole armor down. They don't quite have the DPS to kill them with an Artemis, but they do a significant amount of damage. But they probably need to run now, because the Abyss's long-range weapons are... Well, no, actually, this is the mine launcher side. It looks like they're... Oh, they're switching. Yeah, the long-range weapons of the Abyss are going to force the battering ram out. Looking at the Jethro, they're sort of... I feel like it's with these split-side ships, like the Junker, like the Galleon, even the Mobula, although in a little different way. I think it's generally accepted that you want guns that are effective at different ranges on the different sides. You want one side to be long range, one side to be close range. But on the Jethro, you see, they've got the mine side, which is... Sure, it functions a little differently than Caro Flamer, but it is effectively a close range. Those are effectively close range weapons. So I feel like if the Jethro brought long range side like the Abyss has, they would have a much stronger game.
Yeah, I agree. The problem's compounded with the fact that the Banshee is dependent on the Gatling for armor stripping and to really be effective. So I agree. I think that the setup just is not worth it. Maybe if they took a Gatling on I don't know. I just don't like the Gatling on the front either. It limits the range.
I feel like they're probably going for a trifecta with the Mine Launcher and the Banshee. So they're going to be using the front Gat for armor stripping. But there's an issue with close range trifectas in that it requires you to not be repairing. This is why the long range trifectas are so important, or so popular, because you're not taking as much hull damage as, say, if there's a Gat Mortar Pira bearing down on you. Your third engineer, they're not going to be able to be on a gun. They have to repair. So it's a little sketchy.
Yeah, I agree. Absolutely. And when you're brawling, you're always going to be taking damage. That's kind of what you already said. They at least need the Gatling going along with the Banshee, but those are the two most active engineers on the ship, ironically.
I mean, at the same time, if they land a nice mine hit, that has a good chance of taking down the whole armor, so the Banshee is not totally useless.
I wouldn't say the mine launcher is that reliable at taking out armor. Battering ram peeking around the corner here. Abyss and Jethro getting I'd say quadfecta, or I don't know, sexfecta. They have 6 guns firing on the battering ram at once. The battering ram is able to just back up, though. Their front gun tanked a lot of that. Sky Slicer again staying behind this Cheeto, not going to be able to get arcs for another minute here, and the battering ram rounds the corner almost. This is not a great spot for the Catskyders.
I'm surprised we don't see the Jethro setting up mines in this opportunity. With blue teams, they're hiding behind this mountain, and they've got the time to do it, and that will just let them continue to sort of camp up in their spawn, let the Abyss get more long range fire. Make it so the blue team will have more difficulty charging in. And now you see them finally, turning right side for just a moment. One mine coming out, going a little long, but yeah. Like, blue teams, they're just going to sit back here and they're going to try to find their opportunity to charge in. And by setting up the mines, that reduces the possibilities. It would make them easier to deal with.
The longer the Catskyders wait, though, the more the ClanClan are going to move into position and potentially smoke them out. Battering ram gets a nice move over behind another mountain. And I think this is what the Catskyders were waiting for, was for a cloud to come through, give them the opportunity to split up a little bit. Now the Sky Slicer is going to be looking to come around at the same time as the battering ram instead of just the battering ram poking out. In fact, they have good arcs, but the battering ram is eating a lot of fire from the guns of the Jethro, which were already in arc. Sky Slicer going to have a slightly harder time getting back around the corner and keeping their guns in arc. They bump, but they should still be able to get out of here. Even after their armor drops, they take chip.
Nice mine hit on the battering ram, forcing them to back out. Like, even with the cloud coming in, Abyss just did the gunners on the Abyss did a great job tracking the blue ships, keeping that fire going. The cloud did not help blue team at all. They were just able to keep that long range fire and keep them out. Although now Jethro's a little far ahead, Abyss is backing off. Battering ram might be able to isolate this red junker.
Oh no, not if it backs up into a rock. It's stuck between a rock and a couple of junkers. Gatling going out, continually doing damage, and the mines are going to lock him in even further. If he hits one of those mines, he's going to be done.
Oh, just barely managing to back out.
The battering ram's stuck, and that's easy shots, but the Sky Slicer is providing nice covering fire, disabling the guns on the Jethro, and buying the battering ram the time it needs to rise up and out of that problem. The Abyss, however, now has nice arcs and is going to start raining fire on the battering ram. Artemis is coming out, putting a lot of damage out. Jethro keeping him at distance. Sky Slicer coming around, trying to assist. It's got to get Artemis on the Abyss, and they fire, but the spot in the Abyss is gone.
Yeah, I don't know what the Catskyders are able to do in this situation. They have the long-range fire from the Abyss coming in, and then these mines, like, you don't know where a mine is going to pop out, and this just it hurts your charge potential so much. I wonder if they would have been better off if they had chosen to bring maybe some more mid-range or long-range loadouts that wouldn't, knowing ClanClan loves to use their mines, why would you bring a team composition that requires you to charge through those mines? It just seems like a bad decision.
No. Lobby tactics. Lobby tactics are weird. Right now, the Abyss and Jethro are backed up into their spawn. They have the timer on their side, 10 minutes remaining, but they're only 1 kill up. Despite that, I don't see how the Catskyders can get through here. The mines are doing a great job of zoning out the Sky Slicer and Battering Ram from coming on straight through. And the Sky Slicer and Battering Ram cannot seem to coordinate their pushes. The Battering Ram is coming way out of cover here. What's it doing? It's going to have cloud cover, but it's spotted.
Did it think the cloud was coming in a little earlier than it did?
Maybe. It's coming in now, but it's already taken a lot of damage. Armor, as you can see in the top right of the screen, drops very quickly. Artemis is coming in. Will they land? Armor comes back up just in time, but that's only delaying the inevitable. Sky Slicer coming in here, knows that Jethro is damaged. If it can just land a couple of Artemis shots, it'll be able to get the kill. Just needs 1. And they pick it up. But now it's in a really nasty position in comparison to the Abyss, and a mine lands. Excellent mine, going to damage all the components.
Actually, not really disabling much. And didn't throw off their gun arcs either, as the Sky Slicer now bearing down on the Abyss.
Oh, they bump one.
Gotta be careful here. The Abyss, if the Abyss can somehow manage to stay alive, it looks like that's not going to be the case. If they can manage to stay alive and wait for the ally to respawn, then maybe they could turn the situation around. But actually, before this engagement started, one thing I was going to say, what the blue team needed to do, they needed to find a situation, because the Jethro before this fight was heavily damaged, and since it was only 1 up for the red team, if they managed to isolate the Jethro a little bit and get that kill, they could actually even it up and then back out and maybe wait for a tie, perhaps. But actually, they managed to get the full clean sweep onto red. So
pause being called out. Looks like Clan lost one of their members. They lost Lurk awesomely on the Jethro. I don't think having that person on the Jethro would have actually helped that much, but
so now this is a real weird. We have fire coming in. It looks like the AI actually maybe shooting Veteran Ram.
Yeah, they got it under control. They're good.
Like, the blue team is sitting in a red spawn, so red is forced to spawn into close range. They don't have time to deploy a minefield. They won't be able to use their long-range weapons, at least not as long as they would like. And it gets even weirder now that this is happening during a pause. So the game is going to unpause, and just all hell is going to break loose.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. This is real weird.
This is awkward at best. I don't know. The Abyss is going to have arcs on its starboard side, so it's going to be able to get shots going in pretty quick, but the Battering Ram is so close, and the Hades is going to go into the balloon. They're going to be able to balloon block.
But the Battering Ram is pretty significantly damaged, so if they manage to get just 1 hull break, the Battering Ram could be finished off in pretty short order. So they definitely have to be careful, especially because with the game frozen, they're in this like forward position. So they're kind of out in the open.
Out in the open, the Sky Slicer is really far away. All it's going to be able to fire with is that Artemis until it closes distance. And they're allowed to pre-buff, but not rebuff. I imagine that they're going to just rebuff the engines as soon as they can and come in.
Look at the, if you can go to the Abyss and look at the right side, the gunners already have, they have the goldfish in their sights. They're just waiting for the signal to unleash hell.
2, 1, unpause.
Actually, the unpause is a weird timing too, with this cloud coming in.
There we go.
They don't have a spot. They weren't allowed to make a spot during the pause. So, but it looks like they are going to be shooting true regardless.
Yeah, armor on the Battering Ram drops. No Artemis to follow up though. Stop. Oh, Scrimscraw's calling a stop. Oh, boy. Spam filter. Yep. Spam filter stopped Scrim from saying anymore.
Boy.
Oh,
The game
my
state
goodness.
has been real messed up here. I'm not... This is some tough decisions have to be made by the referees. I don't know how they're going to fix this. I mean, to be fair,
Unpause. Call comes out. Action resumes, and Hades and Artemis immediately begin raining in on the battering ram. It's got to get out of here. It's not even going to bother. Trade winds actually pushed him pretty far out. What? That was, Guns of Icarus. This is a game that people play.
pause function, muse, please.
Please.
Looks like blue teams, they're just going to try to escape. I wonder if they're going to, for the rest of this game, if they're going to kind of opt to find a re-engagement, or if maybe they're just going to fly away and force red team to come to them.
Yeah.
Since they do have the point lead.
Well, I mean, there's 8 minutes left on the clock. They can just run. What are the Junkers really gonna do? What can they do? Yeah, look at that. They're just gonna run back into their spawn. There's no way that the Jethro and Abyss can move confidently through the canyons in case the Battering Ram or Sky Slicer are waiting for them. But if they don't, they're gonna be in a world of hurt. They're 1 point down, and there's 7 minutes left on the clock.
Not to mention the Junker being one of the slowest ships in the game. If
Yeah.
blue team decides to go fully commit to this retreat, I don't see any way the red team can really catch up to them aside from like a real lucky ambush.
Yeah. The Sky Slicer and Battering Ram are just going to hang out at the end of the canyon and wait for the Jethro and Abyss to come in. The Jethro does have a Gatling on the front, but then it's got to turn its other guns into arc.
Yeah, and it looks like the Catskyders are not going to opt to run out the clock. They want the quote they legit kill, I suppose. They want those 5 points. But I don't know if that's from a winning perspective. I'm not sure if that's the best decision.
The Riders
They
never
are-
like running the clock out.
Yeah, they have to be careful. The Battering Ram, they're still pretty heavily damaged, and the Sky Slicer taking some fire as well.
They have
Looks like they're
buffed
gonna be
armor.
hiding.
They have buffed armor. They can eat a little bit. I think they're going to be okay. Yeah, they're just going to back up. They're going to keep poking out. They're okay to take a little bit of damage as long as they don't take permahull.
Yeah, Battering Ram sitting in reserve. They're ready to get that balloon kill at a moment's notice.
Abyss.
Once anyone... It looks like
man.
anyone's name is Abyss. As they do get that balloon kill, dropping them down.
Yeah, Jethro going to come around the corner, reload, coming out on the Hellhound, but it gets disabled, and the Battering Ram is forced to back out as the Sky Slicer tries to disable and damage the Jethro. In fact, it's moving in. It's getting pretty aggressive. Armor drops. Where's the Artemis? Probably still reloading. There it is. But it goes into a component and doesn't do any permahull damage. Looks like the guns are going to eat most of that permahull for now. Now the Artemis is coming in. Look at that huge hunk of damage, but everyone is camping the armor on the Jethro. Except for the captain, who's backing up.
Yeah, the Abyss got a little scared. I think when his balloon got knocked out, he was trying to reverse so he could keep his gun arcs, but at the same time, he left the Jethro kind of on his own for a little bit. And now the Jethro is significantly damaged, and they have to be very careful re-engaging. And the Battering Ram has found them.
Flamethrower coming out, but that main gun is chemmed. They knew exactly what they needed to do. The entirety of the Battering Ram is chemmed. Well, except for the engines. The most important components are chemmed. And that's the Hellhound and the balloon. That's going to allow them to stay on the Jethro. They don't even need to ram if they don't want to. In the meantime,
Yeah, and
Sky Slicer doing really well on the Abyss.
Yeah, as long as the Sky Slicer is able to keep the Abyss occupied, the Battering Ram pretty much has a guaranteed kill on the Jethro.
Yeah, you were saying. Now the Abyss is in trouble. Sky Slicer drops the armor. Artemis is still there. But a mine lands. That was a mine, right? Goodness gracious. Throws him off, and that's going to buy the Abyss a little bit of time.
Yeah, Mickey does have those lock mines, which are very effective at kind of pushing away charging Pyramidians at extreme close range. Lock, very important when you're going for a Munker build.
Yeah, good luck, Nagar Mine. Going to keep them alive a little bit longer, but all they can do is back up now. But there's less than 5 minutes on the clock. They can't afford to back up now. They're just buying time for the Jethro to come in.
Yeah, they're electing to... I wonder... Oh, nice mine. I was about to say, I wonder if they're going to get any nice mine hits, because that's probably what's going to decide this engagement, because they are sitting on their mine side.
Yeah,
it looks
Jethro,
like they want dual focus Sky Slider, sir.
Yeah, they want to. Abyss is really low, though. Mine comes out. That might hit the Jethro. It does. Hits the Jethro's engines. It is dead in the water now as its armor drops. Battering Ram, once again living up to its namesake, picking up a ram kill, throwing them down into the canyon. 4-1 in favor of the Catskyders. And now the Abyss is in a lot of trouble. This may be it. Drifter is saying, AI Gunner. Oh no. Zerofur. I'll never get that name. Abyss dodges death for a minute here, but I think this is pretty much it. With only about 2.5 minutes left on the clock, there's nothing that ClanClan can do. And Catskyders indeed pick up victory, and they will be going on to the finals to face the Praetorians for title of SCS 43 champions.
Yeah, Red Team trying to play very aggressive there. I mean, obviously that was something they had to do. They were down points, the clock was running out, but you know, when your ally is mining a ship, charging through the mines, not the best not the best mode of action.